When you are watching an episode of a new TV show, what is the first thing that introduces you to the world or story you are about to see? Okay, well, some shows may have a previously on segment about what happened in previous episodes, but for most iconic shows, there will be an intro sequence or theme song paired with visuals and sneak peeks for what is about to unfold. From a young age, intros and theme songs always fascinated me. They're a great way to prep you for what you are about to witness, creating iconic sequences that anyone jumping in for the first time can use to gain some sort of understanding on what they're about to watch. And today we're here to talk about more of them, since my first video wasn't enough. Essentially, not all TV intros are created equal, and we're going to take a look at more of them and give them a rating out of 4 based on the criteria we established in the last video. For a refresher, here they are. 1. Accurately display the world, characters, and premise. 2. Match the tone of the show. 3. Have staying power and evolve with the show. And 4. Be enjoyable to watch with each episode. And finally, if there are any TV intros that you think I missed, feel free to either check out my original video on the subject, as I may have covered it there, or leave a comment recommending it for a potential part 3, because this is a topic I can go on and on about. Without further ado, let's get into an iconic show's intro that I somehow neglected to mention in the first episode. The Muppet Show. After a cold open with whatever special guest is involved in the episode, the intro shows Kermit welcoming us to the show before the music starts. The lyrics to the song are iconic, and I don't think anyone can dislike seeing all of the Muppets. There's also various gags in each incarnation of the intro, whether it's Fozzie telling a joke, Statler and Waldorf commenting on the show, and Gonzo ending the intro with some sort of wacky sound effect. The intro has gone through various incarnations, but each displays the fun vibe of the show. Honestly, this is a 4 out of 4 intro easily. I'd next like to look at the Steven Universe shows, which I personally consider to be among Adventure Time, Regular Show, and Gumball as the Cartoon Network 2010's greats. The original show features a great song that fits in with the show's musical theater style. The visuals create a good balance of Steven's goofiness and the elegance of the other gems. The intro also changes after Season 1 to reflect character development and new powers and designs, which is a really nice touch. I personally really enjoy this intro and do indeed enjoy watching it with each episode. So yeah, I'd say it's another 4 out of 4. Steven Universe Future fares a bit worse though. The visuals are a huge step up from the original series, and the song is fine even if it's just them copy-pasting a song from the movie. Knowing how the series goes further into Steven's deteriorating mental health, however, I don't know if the happy-go-lucky tune matches that. Also, so many of the gem characters featured here don't even get focused on, and they remove the parts where Connie and Greg got focused, despite those two being a huge part of Steven's character arc for the season. Since the show is only one season, I'd say the intro does have staying power, but I don't think it accurately shows the premise of the show. Yeah, they're in the future, but the content of the show itself proves that not everything is as happy as the intro leads you to believe. Too much focus on stuff that really doesn't impact the show. I think I'm going to stick this one with a 3 out of 4. On the topic of spin-offs, however, I think we should continue to some of the Big Bang Theory related shows. Next is Young Sheldon. This one is short and sweet, a neat little song as Sheldon walks in a Texas desert and a cow comes in, to which he reacts by shuffling back. Good illustration of the character there, from his outfit to his mannerisms. They even add the family into the intro as they all grow older, which, while they are a big part of the show, I don't know if they needed to be in the intro. I guess it does show off more of the cast though, so it's all good. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 4 as well, because I don't really look forward to it each episode per se, but it's a nice little sequence that gets the job done. George and Mandy's first marriage is a different story, however. Shout out to my girlfriend for suggesting this one, since I've only seen clips of the show, and of course it's a spin-off of Young Sheldon, which is a spin-off of The Big Bang Theory. To start off with the good, it does show off the show's setting, lead duo, and their child. And yeah, from the clips I've seen, the show can be a bit flirty with its main characters, but why is the whole thing these two doing a tango? Where are Mandy's parents and brother, who, from what I can tell, are the other main cast members? Why is it only highlighting the romance when this is also a sitcom? I don't know. I don't think this one represents the world and premise really well, or really matches the tone of the show. Enjoyable to watch? I guess. And this is a very new show, so I'll give the longevity point to be fair, so like a 1 or 2 out of 4? Not the best, really. I don't consider this next show to be a spin-off, but Milo Murphy's Law does take place in the same town as Phineas and Ferb, so we'll lump it in here. First off, this intro is a bop, with great Weird Al songs accompanying Milo's walk through the street as the world breaks apart around him, all while he keeps a happy face. Displays the premise and various characters? Check. Matching the lighthearted and positive tone of the show? Check. Enjoyable to watch? Check. Longevity? I mean, the show only had 2 seasons, and they didn't include much of the overarching plot stuff here, but I'd say that's okay. Let's give this one a 4 out of 4 as well. Finally, for our little spin-off section here, I'd like to include an intro that plenty of people have raved about. Peacemaker. Gonna be honest, I didn't get into this show as much as I wanted, but the intro is such a fun fever dream that I always enjoyed myself while watching it. I'd also say it matched the tone of the show, or at least the characters of Peacemaker and Vigilante well. So there's another point. We also see the entire cast of the show in this intro, so I'll give it that point as well. I'm hesitant to give the longevity point though, since unlike the other one-season shows we've covered thus far, a second season is confirmed, meaning that the intro will likely evolve. I'm confident that the intro for Season 2 will include any new characters in this dance party, however, so I think I can at least give it half a point. Honestly, pretty much a perfect intro, and I'm interested to see how it grows in Season 2. We're going to give it a 3.5 out of 4. From one James Gunn project to another, next we have Creature Commandos, the newest show we're covering here today, and I really like this one. You can't go wrong with showing off all the characters and their actors to a cool song lining up with the title screen. I think it was a bit much to include Gunn himself in animated form, but it's been made clear that that was just a gag put in by the animators. I'd say it matches the vibe that many James Gunn projects go for with its fun music and action, and it shows off the characters well. To nitpick some characters, particularly Frankenstein, aren't in every episode, but it's not really an issue, is it? The intro shows off the team well and is fun to watch, though much like Peacemaker, there is a Season 2 in the works, and the finale hints at a mostly new team. We'll see how the intro evolves, but for now, I'll give it a 3 out of 4, since it'll have a good deal more to change than Peacemaker did. My Adventures with Superman is another DC animated show that has a pretty good intro. Definitely shows Clark, Lois, and Jimmy off really well, since the trio of them are obviously the main focus of the show. I do have to wonder what the energy surrounding the 3 of them as they stand off against the villains is about, but I'm okay to overlook it. I'd say it matches the tone of the show itself well, and I hope we can see it grow in the future to feature a certain new character that we met in Season 2. For that reason, I think I'll also give it a 3.5 out of 4, since we'll see how the longevity is affected. Anyway, another good intro for another good show. Our last superhero show for today, I promise, will be Invincible. I've gone back and forth on including this one since, much like regular show, it's really just a glorified title card, but it's a nice one. I also like how the title card keeps getting bloodier as the fight rages on, before starting to crumble in Season 2 as Mark keeps getting beaten down again and again. Realistically, I can't say it expresses the premise of the show much, or that it's as enjoyable as Steven Universe or Peacemaker, but in terms of title card intros, this is one of the better ones. 2 out of 4 for longevity and tone matching. Also, at the time of recording this, I haven't started Season 3 yet, but I'm sure it'll be good there too. The next batch of shows is going to be a few Netflix shows as well as a handful that I didn't really have a category for, but still wish to include. So, let's jump into them. BoJack Horseman is a good intro that I feel perfectly displays BoJack's internal conflicts of depression and feeling washed up. I don't enjoy watching it, but it's the type of thing that I don't think you're supposed to enjoy watching, you know? BoJack Horseman can be a depressing show about a complex character, and the intro is uniquely captivating in that regard. The little changes throughout the seasons don't amount to much, but I will say I like how the Season 6 intro takes us through his whole career. I've only seen Season 1 of BoJack, but I can tell that it's a great show and that this intro is a part of that. 4 out of 4. Stranger Things is a show that I fell off of, unfortunately, but it was pretty good for a while there. And honestly, I forgot how good the actual music for this intro was. I don't know if it was because I would skip it sometimes or because it's been a while or what, but yeah, a good song that does match the eerie tone of the show. The intro, of course, doesn't show off any of the actual premise, but it gets the feel right, and because it doesn't show anything, I don't see why it doesn't have staying power. I do think since it's easily skippable, I can't give it more of a 2 out of 4 though. Inside Job, the show that's cancellation has hit me harder than any other show, and that I will never forgive Netflix for. This show is all about conspiracies and government cover-ups, and the intro perfectly displays that. You get a good balance of the tone of the show being both about mysteries and including a few funny bits. It also includes various plot details that the show went into and is pretty good to watch with each episode. Sure, I'll give it a 4 as well, let's be positive. Scrubs is a show that I've seen some good episodes of, and it has some wacky fantasy sequence humor and sound effects. I don't think that the intro sequence shows this off well, but it does display the heart of the show, being how the characters are struggling and learning to become doctors. That being said, the theme song itself isn't great and the intro is pretty short altogether. I don't think this one is fun to watch or anything. I'll say it gets 2 out of 4 right though. Game of Thrones, a legendary show that I have never seen an episode of, but I've heard the song hundreds of times. It's really good. And I think that combined with the map being formed over the course of the intro credits, it does a pretty good job to establish the world and the tone of the show. At least I think I know what the show is about given this and what I've read about it. It also has different versions for different seasons, which is good for longevity. However, given the fact that it's nearly 2 minutes long, I think I'd get bored of it with several episodes, so I won't give it a 4th point. 3 out of 4 is a respectable intro though. And finally, to wrap up our discussion today, I want to talk about what I consider to be the 3 biggest shows of Disney television animation. Much like how in our first TV intros video we started by talking about the big 3 of Cartoon Network. The Owl House, Amphibia, and Gravity Falls are 3 amazing shows, but how do their theme songs stack up against each other? Also, this section may include story spoilers because each of them dramatically changes their intro by the end of the series, so you have been warned. Out of the 3, I would say that the Owl House has the weakest intros, despite being my favorite of the 3. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with any of the intros that this show had across its 2.5 seasons, I just feel like they kind of got weaker as they went on. The first intro is honestly a 4 out of 4 title sequence that shows the world perfectly with a banger song in the background and great visuals. We see shenanigans of Luz and the Owl House family learning about magic, glimpses at the friends Luz will make, and some of the oddities of the world. In the first season, there's not a lot of overarching conflict, but more references to the Emperor's Coven may have been nice. Season 2 changes things up by starring with a reel of all the main characters. We then see some of the antagonists of the series with a great shot of Belos that, to me, is the highlight of this version. The rest is just the Season 1 intro with more lighting and shading. I find this one less engaging because the first third is just kind of more boring, but it's an amazing detail that as characters get new designs they are reflected in the intro. Like the first time we see Amity's purple hair in this intro was really cool. However, as Season 2 drives forward, they keep shortening the intro to the point where it's just a title screen. Then by Season 3, I would say that there's not even an intro at all. The first episode has a great montage, sure, but it's clearly just a series of episode concepts that we never got to see because the show got shortened. As a fan of the show, I love this, but as someone looking at and grading show intros, I can't say that it's a good intro. The second episode does something similar with showing the aftermath of the Season 2 finale in a sequence that I forgot was incredible, but then episode 3 does nothing. Again, as a fan, I'm glad because it allowed more time for the show to get a proper ending, but I can't say in good faith that these intros were good. As the series goes on, it doesn't introduce new people as well, so as a whole, I think I can only give the series a 3 out of 4. I love this show, so it kind of hurts to say that, but at the end of the day, I love the contents of the show a whole lot more than its intros. Next, Gravity Falls has an intro that is simply iconic. From the scenic, natural overview of the town, to the clips of characters exploring the Mystery Shack, to the character labels, to the secret messages in the title screen. Really, this intro is perfect for captivating audience attention and introducing them to the mysteries that this series proposes. It also has a good song and shows the 3 main characters' personalities well. If I had to nitpick, I'd say that they could have highlighted Seuss and Wendy better, and there's only a small reference to Ford once he joins the series, but it's still passable. Also, shout out to the Weirdmageddon intro that makes the multi-part finale really feel like an event where the chaotic Bill Cipher took over the whole show. I don't see a problem with this intro at all. I just think that the final show we have here today is a bit better when it comes to an intro sequence to me personally. I'd say that Amphibia has the best intro out of these 3 shows by far. First off, if you haven't watched the version of the intro that includes lyrics for the theme song, then go do that because it makes an amazing song even better. The song without lyrics is still an amazing musical sequence that can make the world feel magical, friendly, treacherous, danger-filled, and more lived in than most other show intros can achieve in their entirety. Moral of the story? I think that more intros should use the violin as their main instrument. Anyway, enough about the song. What about the other aspects? The visuals of each incarnation of the intro put on full display the characterization of the Planter family and the fun and dangerous aspects of the world, from bouncing on toadstools to sword fights with former friends. The Season 1 version has the show be a fun fantasy adventure in a frog world. The Season 2 version keeps that vibe but also includes the darker edge of Sasha's antagonism and the mystery of Marcy in the box. The third season changes the song and visuals dramatically due to the setting changing to the real world, and the show taking on more of a science fiction genre. Each version features fun, action, plot details, and more. From the first episode of this show that I watched, I knew what the show and the world were about, and was excited to watch more. And I think you can tell that I never skip this intro. This is a perfect 4 out of 4. Would I say that this is a better Disney Channel intro than Phineas and Ferb, the intro sequence that I called my favorite of all time? I don't know, but they are certainly on the same level. Also, check out some of Disney's theme song takeovers with the Amphibia characters and Dr. Doofenshmirtz. They're all great. And with that, I think we've run out of time for today. There are countless TV intros that are good and bad, and many more in between. Do you disagree with something I said in this video? Are there any intros not featured here that you think are amazing or horrible? Let me know of any of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and feel free to check out any of my other projects. Subscribe if you feel like it, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.